Hello and welcome to this daily event with Bird Keepers. We won the die roll. We're going to play first. And this hand is keepable. It doesn't have a 1-drop, but it's got plenty of action, and we just can play pretty much everything in our hand with another land, so we're not going to mulligan this. Our opponent, 1870, is also going to keep apparently, so we're just going to lead on a plains and pass a turn here. This is my first ever daily event with this deck. I think I've played only one match in total, and it looks like we're facing some variation of the mirror match here. So I think what I want to do is lead on either the Cathar or the Armorer, which will protect all of our guys from this Javelineer. The Cathar might be a better play. It's a little more aggressive, and if he thinks he can just make a block, we should be able to punish that line of play with this veteran Armorer here. He's got a Leonin Sky Hunter in the air. Not a huge deal for us. So I think we're actually going to play the veteran Armorer and attack him with a 2-3, and then he has the option to block if he wants. We could also play the Attended Knight. I think the Armorer will be better. Next turn we can play out double Squadron Hawk. Maybe we should attack first and see what he does. But if we're playing the Armorer, then that plays kind of bad. I think we'll play the Armorer first and then go from there. He may end up wasting some removal on this Armorer, which will leave our Attended Knight pretty much safe, hopefully. Looks like he's just going to take it, so we're going to pass a turn from here and get ready to play some Squadron Hawks out. Now he's probably going to swing in the air with the Leonin Sky Hunter, taking us down to 18. And let's see what his follow-up is. I'm not sure if he's playing a similar version of our deck, which is the War Falcon deck. He's got a second Sky Hunter and a Bone Splitter. So we now have the option of playing out 2 Hawks and setting up for some kind of double block. We can also hit him with an Unmake if we so choose, because he's threatening 6 in the air. I think we probably want to play out a pair of Squadron Hawks and offer a trade there. Otherwise, I think sending in the Loyal Cathar is going to be fine. The Unmake I'd like to save for as long as possible. It's going to take another 2 damage. And now we're just going to lay out some Squadron Hawks, and we're going to have to hope that he doesn't have any Squadron Hawks of his own. We may even take some hits in the air to begin with. Like for instance, I may be more inclined to trade with the Sky Hunter that doesn't have a Bone Splitter equipped. That way we get to keep 1 Hawk alive. And then next turn we can play out. Okay, so he's got a 4-drop that he wants to play. Or he's just going to play an Unmake on us. He's representing Unmake here, so I'm actually fine taking 4. And then next turn we can block with even more Hawks than before. So I'm going to take 4 and go to 14. I'm not afraid of 4 damage. So our board is looking pretty good. And he's got Hawks of his own. Our Hawks match up a little better than his, though. So I think that was the right play. One of the important aspects of this matchup, and it looks like he only grabbed 2 Hawks, so he probably has 1 more in hand. One of the important aspects of this matchup is winning the air battle. And with our Hawks having a little more toughness, we can potentially win that air battle. So we draw another Armorer, and I think that's going to be actually really good. So we have a couple options. We could play an Armorer and leave up Unmake. We can play an Armorer and an Attended Knight. I don't see why we would want to leave up Unmake when we're going to have a bunch of 1/3 Hawks. And we're going to have a 2/4 Attended Knight with a 1/3 Soldier token. So, and this becomes a 2/3, so he could he could double block. I think we'll send in these two guys. So he could actually end up double blocking and shooting. I'm actually fine with that trade. And he doesn't know that we have an Attended Knight. Okay, so he is going to block. Or maybe not. He's just going to take 4. So here I'm going to play out the Attended Knight. And now our board is looking really crazy. And we're going to be able to attack with a lot of guys. So he's got 2 Hawks, and now he's got a Benevolent Bodyguard. That's going to be a little rough. So he's playing more of a traditional White Weenie, not a War Falcon oriented White Weenie. And I believe his last card is Squadron Hawk, so he's going to equip something. Okay, so what we can do is trade. Okay, he's not going to do anything. So now we have to think. This board is very complicated now. I do feel fine attacking with the Cathar and the Attended Knight. He can potentially block the Cathar or the Attended Knight and with the Sky Hunter and attempt to give it protection. Otherwise, I think all of his blocks are kind of bad. He has to give up multiple creatures for 1. So I'm going to go in with 4. We could, I suppose, potentially attack with everybody. So hang on. If we do that, he doesn't have many good blocks. His backswing is 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we can actually send everybody. His best blocks are... Well, he doesn't really have many good ones. If we send everybody, he can put the Sky Hunter on an Armorer. It still won't survive. He could put the Sky Hunter on the Attended Knight, try and give it protection. He could put another Sky Hunter. You know, I'm just looking at the board. I'm not going to look at every single block he can make, but it does look like his blocks in general are pretty bad. So I'm actually going to send everybody at him. And when if he tries to give protection to the Sky Hunter, I'm going to cast Unmake. And then I'm just going to cast another Squadron Hawk, and I actually think our chances are pretty good. Okay, see, yeah, he doesn't have any good blocks here. He's chumping with a Hawk, it looks like, chumping with the Sky Hunter. See, he doesn't even know what to do. Okay, he's going to trade the Sky Hunter for the Armorer. And he's putting another Sky Hunter on an Armorer, which they will trade if that happens. Then if he doesn't make any other blocks... Okay, I see what he's doing. He wants to remove... Okay, so when these Armorers... When this first Armorer dies, the other one will also die, which means that the Hawk will die as well. So we're going to end up losing 2 Armorers, a Hawk, for his 2 Sky Hunters and a Hawk. And he's going to take 6 damage. So I actually think that's a worthwhile trade. And he can also shoot something if he wants to. But he's going to go down to 6, so it's... I'm really not too worried. So, yeah, I'm fine with this. If he attempts to give protection, then I'm going to use the Unmake. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold it. Yeah, see, he doesn't even need to do that. That's actually just a waste. So, that's fine with me. Once the damage resolves, he would have already been able to kill those guys. So now the board is a little bit more clear, I suppose. I don't see a reason to play out this land, however. We can actually just leave it back. And we'll just cast all the guys. We have equal hawk numbers, which is fine. And we're way ahead on life total. So I don't feel too bad. He's got another bone splitter. And he's out of cards here. He's going to equip a Javelineer. Okay. So I'm willing to attack him and trade hawks. I actually probably can just attack with everybody once again, especially because we now have this Javelineer. So yeah, he doesn't really have any great blocks, and if he were to somehow go down to 1 and block 2 guys, we're still not in danger, so I'm just going to attack him with everybody. And again, if he wants to give protection, I have the option of casting this Unmake on him, so he's going to block there. I'm fine with that. He's going to block Hawk for Hawk. I'm also fine with that. And he's going to take 3, it looks like, which I'm also fine with. All of these blocks I'm fine with. Now he wants to give one of the Hawks protection. As it stands, he's about to take 3 and lose everything else. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll save the Unmake in case he draws something really dangerous. We're going to get the Cathar back. We still have 3 other bodies once we cast this Javelineer, so I think we're looking okay. Okay, I don't know who this is. Oh, that's the opponent. I don't know what that comment was all about, but no big deal. Alright, so we've won. And we're going to go to sideboarding here. I actually have a sideboarding guide for this deck, so I kind of have a feeling for what I want to do. And he's playing a more traditional White Weenie, so he's not playing the War Falcon build. Regardless, I think we do want to take out some War Falcons. They're not good against Squadron Hawk at all, in my opinion. We do have Veteran Armorer to make them okay, but they're still not the best. We're also going to drop one of the Attended Knights and 2 Bone Splitters. Now, the Bone Splitters are good, but I don't think we need to have multiples necessarily. And like I said, the War Falcon are pretty weak to Squadron Hawk. They're pretty weak to Javelineer. What is quite good in this matchup are Suture Priests. So we're going to bring in all 4. Really helps you kind of swing life totals around, and it gives you quite an advantage. And then we're going to bring in our Techie card, which is the Viridian Longbow. This actually has the potential to just smash this matchup, completely rip it apart. And we can also bring in Disenchant. However, we didn't really see any Journey to Nowhere. I'm sure he's playing some. He may also be playing Razor Golem. And I wasn't prepared to find a more traditional White Weenie opponent, so I'm not sure if I want to bring that in. The Guardian's Pledge will actually help us race and kind of steal the game out of nowhere, so I think I want to keep that. It could be the case that we want to drop the other Attended Knights. The Javelineers are good. They help us win Hawk Wars. The Cathar is alright, gives us some advantage, and the Armorer seems pretty good. So I could see dropping a pair of Attended Knight for a pair of Disenchant, particularly on the draw. However, I think we want to have a superior board position, so I'm going to attempt not playing the Disenchants here, and we're going to see how it goes. If I need them, then I will bring them in. You know what? He's got Bone Splitter. He's got a lot of things. So I'm actually going to drop the Attended Knights, and I'm going to bring in a pair of Disenchant. So our deck now is a more controlling type build, but it also has the potential to win out of nowhere with the Guardian's Pledge. We may even drop that on the draw. No, I think we'll keep it. I think we're going to try it out like this and go ahead and go on to game 2. Alright, we're in game 2 right here. We're up a game. And this hand looks decent. It does have 2 Squadron Hawks, but otherwise it's got just about everything we want. So I'm going to keep Core Skyfisher is very important in the matchup, and Suture Priest will be nice for us. So he's got a turn 1 Bone Splitter. Never a great thing to see, but not a terrible turn 1. Javelineer would have been much scarier for us, which he now has a Javelineer. So the goal is to try and get him to waste this Javelineer counter before we play out the Squadron Hawk. So we're going to lead on a Loyal Cathar, and then that will kind of subdue this Icatian Javelineer. So let's see if... I don't think he's going to attack. He actually is. So we're definitely going to take this trade. He may have a second Javelineer to follow it up, but the thing is we want to resolve this Suture Priest, and this is a worthwhile trade. We're trading half a card for his entire card. So I have no real issue making that trade. And he just passes the turn. So we're going to attack him. And then we're just going to lay out the Suture Priest. Now, he may have a removal for it at this point. I think that's going to be okay. But the Suture Priest otherwise will put us in pretty good position to really get ahead in this game. So he's going to lay down maybe a Guardian. We have an answer for that. Oh, it's a Seraph of Dawn. Okay. So let's set up our auto yield. Make him take a point of damage. Really depends on what we draw here. We don't want him to get too ahead on life, so I think we're just going to have to burn an Unmake and swing in for 3 damage. I don't think we have much choice there, because he's going to start gaining 4 life a turn, and that'll really kind of end the game if we let that go on for too long. So we're just going to bash in and see what he's got in store now. He might have a second one. He's got another Javelineer. He's going to take a point of life. So this Suture Priest has already done 3 damage to him. And he's got a War Falcon. So he is playing War Falcon. I don't think we're going to use the Unmake on his Javelineer. What I do think we're probably going to do if we don't draw a land is use... By the way, this has done about 4 or 5 damage to him now. Is probably use a Skyfisher and then play a Squadron Hawk to kind of neutralize this aggression. We're actually way ahead on the board. Just in general, he's down to 1 card. So we do draw land, so we're going to play out the Loyal Cathar and the Squadron Hawk. But first we're going to offer a trade with this Unhallowed Cathar. And we're going to make him burn the Javelineer counter on the Suture Priest, so we're not going to offer a trade. Okay, so now comes in the Loyal Cathar. We're going to gain 2 life. And we're going to draw some cards with the Squadron Hawk. So the Suture Priest already doing a ton of work for us here. And, I mean, we're just way ahead in this game. I don't really see him coming back. But, you know, if he draws into Squadron Hawk, that's quite good for him. We're going to go ahead and pass a turn. Not really a lot to comment on at this stage. And he's got a Squadron Hawk, but he's going to let this Suture Priest trigger resolve. So, yep, the trigger still goes on the stack, so that's just a misplay. He's down to 9. And now the Hawk Wars begin. I'm definitely willing to trade a Squadron Hawk for his War Falcon, since we do have this Core Skyfisher. However, he does have Bone Splitter. Just a bit of an issue. We're just going to F6. You know, we can take 2 from Warfalcon. We don't really need to trade here. We're going to send in both Loyal Cathars. And now we have a Veteran Armorer, so things are not looking good for him at all. What we can do is play the Skyfisher, and that will just block Squadron Hawks all day. So yeah, let's go ahead and play the Skyfisher into Armorer, and we'll send both of these guys. Right, it's going to take at least 2 to trade with him, and yeah, I'm liking that play. The Armorer right now is really making things very good for us in this matchup, which I'm kind of surprised about. I'm not shocked, but definitely happy to see. And we're really in no danger at this stage. As you can see, at any point that we draw a longbow, we're just going to absolutely decimate his board. And he really won't be able to come back from it. So now we're just waiting for him to respond here. He may be AFK. Let's just briefly check. I think he's actually... well, he's actually been sending us some messages. And otherwise, I think... Okay, so anyway, that resolved. We're going to attack. With these Loyal Cathars. Just waiting here, folks. But I do think we are in very good position. With the boosted toughness of our creatures, we can profitably block just about anything, though he does have the Bone Splitter to kind of benefit with his attacks. The Skyfisher can block an equipped Hawk, and the Hawks can block an unequipped opposing Hawk. Just a second here. Okay. So, looks like he's just burning down his own clock here. Again, I apologize for the delay, but I think that we've used the Suture Priest very much to our advantage, and the Veteran Armorer gives us quite a bit of an edge here, and it just makes our guys a little bit beefier, a little bit stronger than his. And I think some of his plays have been suboptimal. For instance, just waiting until the Suture Priest trigger went on the stack to use the Javelineer. Also, some of his blocks in the first game were incorrect in my opinion. He didn't take into account the fact that the Armorer would no longer give the buff. So now we're going to attack with the 2 Cathars, and we're going to pass priority, see what he wants to do. I don't think he really has a good block here, but his life total is nearing a dangerous level, so it really depends what he wants to do. He's going to trade the Warfalcon away. I'm totally fine with that. So, you know, we traded that Cathar for both a Javelineer and a Warfalcon, which is just extremely good for us. He's got a Javelineer back. That's not really going to be too impressive here. He's going to equip the Skyfisher and play out another one. So I think we can potentially afford to remove the Skyfisher and then attack with our own Skyfisher. Really depends. If we do end up drawing into a longbow, I'll be perfectly content with suiting that up and getting ready to just gun down his team. I'll probably gun down the Javelineer first, go from there. Now, I don't know what he's waiting for at this stage of the game. He doesn't really have any attacks. So, okay, so we draw another Armorer. That's actually pretty good. I think we could play that, but it might just be better to take down the Skyfisher and send in our Cathar and our own Skyfisher, which probably puts him down to 3 because I don't think he has any good attacks. You know, we also can hold this back in case he draws into a Seraph of Dawn or something. So maybe we should hold back. At the same time, I don't think we want to give him the opportunity to draw into that. So the more aggressive we can be at this stage, I think the better. We've got enough of an advantage that we probably can afford to do this. Now, if he draws a Seraph of Dawn, then we need to make some pretty outrageous blocks. I'm going to go ahead and send the Squadron Hawk as well, so we can start whittling down his Hawk numbers. Yeah, it looks like he is going to double block. That's fine. We really just want to burn him out of creatures because his life total is so low that even a Guardian's Pledge could potentially be a victory. So that may have been a questionable call on my part. We're really just gonna have to see. I don't think he's expecting us to have a second Armorer. I just didn't like the idea of waiting for him to draw out of this situation. So that's why I made that play. Him being at 3, okay, and he top decks a land. Him being at 3 makes it very tough for him to do anything. And I hope he at least equips something instead of just passing the turn. So with the Armorer out, I think we can still afford to attack with the Skyfisher, because then he's got to put however many guys on it. So I'm going to go ahead and make that same attack. We could also attack with this, which would really put him in a tough position. He has to double block just to kill any of our guys, so I think attacking with all 3 is actually fine. This might be a little too dangerous. Like, for instance, okay, he's just going to concede right there. So we win the match. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll come back for round 2. Thanks.